Yep. I had no sound. You were right. Thanks, buddy. Liam Nelsonstein, Hail. A smooth entrance. I am the one that cannot land on a smooth entrance. Yeah. I guess that we should have sound now, right? Just correct me if I'm wrong, but we should have sound. Let's hear it on. Yep, we have song now. Yeah. And I was on a roll. Live TV, everyone. Last week I got late because I didn't know there was a button you need to press, and now I went silent for a whole minute. Yay! If you can crop that and use it in any way you want, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. But anyway, as I was saying, oh yeah, it's sunny. We are at 3 p.m. So, and we are on the Ecuador, so we have sun until 7 p.m. Anyway, as I was saying, right now Disney has shown us what the current state of culture is. We cannot have any kind of culture, and they are actively trying to hinder our ability to think freely, and that's it. They are trying to stop us from thinking, and if that's going to happen, we need to take different measures. If they don't want us to pay them to get access to whatever we want, then maybe we should stop paying them. And thus, I want to focus today on different ways to access content and what it entails both for the companies and for us. One of the main things here and now, since Disney has fired Gina Carano, they have shown us that whatever we want on their content, whatever we are willing to pay on their content, even though they are hurting economically, they are willing to sacrifice for the political vision they have. Haha, WandaVision. Yeah, and I will be speaking about that later. This is the time for us to revolt. This is the time for us to change things, change the way we consume most of our entertainment, even change the ways we approach to the day-to-day appliances we buy, like our TV or PC. What are we doing with that? I don't know if you know this, but the United States was in a cyber attack that lasted almost 2 weeks, and it was done by the United States government. This happened last week. What happened? Well, they blocked the access to VPNs, and they started checking every single package that went out of the United States as a whole. And I mean it. Every single ISP, every single internet access provider was on this. This was on an ISP level, so the government has now set up a way for them to monitor every single thing you do on the United States, even though you are using a VPN. For more information on this and the technical information, exactly how it happened, you can go to the cybersecurity guy. That's a channel on YouTube, and he is the one that actually showed the proof that this was happening and showed the timeline of how that happened. They blocked ports and they access information that was being shared by VPNs. They know how to do this, and they will be using it a lot. So VPNs are no longer safe. I want you to know that VPNs are no longer safe on the United States. They are as unsafe as they are on China. This is part of another big project, and this is why the fusion of Google and the state is terrible. The breaking point was when Google acquired a section of the National Defense Department of the United States. And yes, this is something real. They own Boston Dynamics, that is a division of the Department of Defense of the United States. And they are currently working on artificial intelligence and they are working on face tracking, face recognition, and voice imitation. They are currently in possession of a software that can actually mimic every single person's voice and speech pattern to a perfect level, and they can call everyone and anyone and at any given moment and speak to them using an artificial intelligence, no person on the process, to make you think you are speaking with someone that you know, give up information, and have a wonderful conversation afterwards. Because yes, that can happen. And for more information, they actually show how this works to the public a couple of Google I/Os ago. The project was I don't remember the name of the project, but yeah, you just search phone call Google Assistant on YouTube and you will be surprised. And yes, this was a project for Google Assistant because that's how a lot of things work. You spend money on the military, and that money gives you a lot of nice ideas to do for the public. It has never been the other way around. Television is a military product. The internet is a military product. The radio, Morse code, is a military product. It is not a consumer level development, and that won't ever happen. The ones that are currently developing the antenna and chipsets for telecommunications are the government of China and the government of Korea, South Korea to be exact. Those two will decide exactly how and why you can communicate. And I mean it. The new software and new chipsets allow them to block your conversations on a word-to-word basis. That will be on the next phones you purchase. Actually, the ones that are being released this year, since that was 4 years ago. That means you are no longer safe on the internet. That means every single conversation you have over a voice network will be monitored. So what do? You use Signal? Well, Signal has a lot of trouble right now. They are on deep water right now because they have done stupid shit. So the best alternative right as the moment, I don't want to keep saying right now, is a Telegram, but it provides information to law enforcement, and that means that in a short period of time they will be giving up your information fully, because that's how it works. There's laws to force companies to give up information. It doesn't happen from the ether. Okay, so in this situation we are like that. Well, piracy has been something that the companies has helped to maintain, even though they act like they don't want you to use piracy, because they don't. They want you to give them money, but they know piracy is something that will happen all the time. So they host a lot of the piracy, and they provide a lot of the piracy that happens from day to day. The sites that get leaked episodes half an hour or such before, and those are official sites, badly dressed, that will give them intel about how people are trying to consume their product. and that's why they want this to exist. Is a model to get information. From that, you can extrapolate the consume patterns of every single individual, if they are willing to give you money or not. Is a good way to research content and content consumption as a whole. So that's happening, and they won't stop. They won't stop piracy as a whole. They know that, for instance, that you can come to Ecuador to royally fuck them, and I mean it. You can come to Ecuador and acquire dozens over dozens of Blu-rays and DVDs, bootleg, with the right artwork, the right printing on the disc, all the extra material. If there's some Blu-rays are boring, to be honest. When we had DVDs, we had a lot of extra material that was great. Blu-rays are a waste of space. They have 20 gigabytes that they are not using for anything. Because why not? Well, anyway, physical media can be purchased on Ecuador like it's nothing, and that goes the same for some regions of Mexico, because on Mexico DF you will have more control, but outside of the DF you will have almost none. So there's stores for piracy. Venezuela is another example. Colombia, Peru. On Chile they actually track and take down piracy, but on Argentina they have official retail stores for bootleg content. Good, right? And you can see government officials going and having a discount on the store. It's quite fun. This is a previously untrackable market. This is a wild market. This is like India. India is a wild market. Then the Blu-rays and the newer DVDs got ways to connect to the internet. They will detect if the disc is not original. Remember, they can detect on a disc level, because the disc will have the original disc will have an extra sector that will tell the console or the Blu-ray player or whatever that the disc is an original. The new online players will ignore this and will play the fake disc. Why? Because they want to know what is being played, how many times, how much time did you spend watching the movie. This is valuable information. This is the most valuable information when you hear someone on Disney say data enhanced storytelling. Is that they are actually measuring how much time do you spend on a sad scene, on an action scene, how many times did you rewind to see if the actor was speaking right, and they will scold actors for not doing a delivery on a way they can properly track. A lot of retakes on audio are because of that. For more information, Mark Hamill actually spelled that a lot of times on interviews about voice acting. You can, and the way a lot of movies finish principal photography and then they go again to voice acting. The actresses and the actors won't finish their job until they have dubbed enough scenes to make it cohesive, and make it fully understandable. That happened a lot on previous films. If you see Star Wars, the original Star Wars, there's a lot of scenes that were filmed and the audio didn't work. So what they did was to get Mark Hamill, get um, Carrie Fisher, get Harrison Ford to come and dub the scenes again. Well, now they want to be able to determine every single thing. So the Blu-ray or the DVD will do SQL or SQLite on this case table, assorting every single thing they want to know, and that will update over the internet by a tracking port. Normally port 80, but if you are not lucky, you may have other ports occupied on your thingy. Whatever. I don't want to get into deep network, but you can have independent instances of a single port talking with different things. That's a whole other level. But this data is being mined. They are using it in a lot of ways to detect right now, and this is something that Disney is doing to detect if the consumer group is toxic. This means if you rewatch Scarlett Johansson's ass too much, they will know, and they will try to remove Scarlett Johansson's ass from next movies. This is what's going on Mass Effect. This is literally what is going on Mass Effect. They know what is the most sick part of their games, not only on YouTube, but when you play, you can replay a lot, and you can replay keeping a save state to see that ass, to see those nips time and time and time again. That information is useful. If you want to do a better game, you will get those scenes more. CD Projekt Red did that. Hell, Jake D, how you doing? CD Projekt Red did that. They did that to know on Witcher 2 how much interest was on the sex scenes. Bukaru Baisu, welcome man. And they applied that data to improve the next game. So if you like The Witcher 3 and the unholy amount of tits and ass you can see there, it's because they did their job. Then, what happens when you have a network that is giving away what you are doing all the time? Well, you set a pie hole. A pie hole is a magical thingy that you set up on your network that works like this. Yeah, this is my pie hole. Yeah, it sounds so bad all the time. This displays how my network is currently tracking the domains on the blacklist and are limiting the access to them. Let's go to a simple query. As you can see, I have blocked origin because my nephew is a twat. But the measurements are going by all the time. This is a measurement. They will do a request to give your information to a server. Is not the network that is making the request for your information. Is the services that you are using in your phone that are telling the server, hey, are you there? And if the server is not there, they do nothing. So you block the access to that server. It's that easy. This kind of masking is a local level masking. It's something that you can do to protect yourself all the time, and it's done with a Raspberry Pi. This thing is cheap, $30, and you can set up your network in an hour if you are really bad with Linux. Why would you want to do that? Well, because they are tracking what you are doing, and you don't want them to have that kind of power. Why? You don't want them to abuse that power. Yeah, that's the kind of masking we need to support. We don't want them to abuse that power. It's that easy. They need that data to make better products. If we stop them from getting that data, they will not make better products. No, they have a good enough sample of billions and billions of connections that has happened on the past, and this data is still being analyzed. The current Jigsaw project from Google, and please check that up. This is a project that categorizes using artificial intelligence all the data of how you consume things. Which videos do you see, which searches do you do, everything. Every single thing. It has a complete map of your house provided by your cell phone. Sounds incredible. Your cell phone can give them a complete structural map of your house only by echolocalization. Fun stuff. They have all that. And this project is being developed as a military weapon. But it has a weakness. It needs to be fed the information. You block the feed of information to that service, it's done. If they cannot hear what you are doing, they cannot do anything about it. No, the VPNs were blocked on the United States. They were blocked. Every single data that was transferred by a VPN the last week and the week previous to that was fully inspected and fully categorized. This is another project. This is a project from the United States government. The one that tracks your information is from Google, and the United States government pays Google to give them that data. But in this case, this was the government asking the internet service providers to give them that information, to give them access to that. So they set a pipeline that sent the whole array of information, and this still needs to be categorized. Your browsers will have signatures, your computers or any dispositive you use will have a signature that's a MAC address, an email, or the ID of your cell phone to your carrier. But when you enter a VPN, you enter a cluster of a lot of information flowing. That means that even though they got the access to the packages, they may not be on a situation where they can fully understand every single package all the time. The best way to keep yourself safe is to hide the identifiers on your machines while using a VPN. Why? You will enter a cluster of people that is doing exactly the same as you are doing, contacting different servers. To track that, you will have to go through every single bit of data, and every single bit of data is completely hashed. What's the word? It's scrambled. I forgot the word. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, is masked on a way they cannot see it directly. They have to actually decode the message to know what you are doing and what you are saying. And they have to know encrypted. Yeah, my brain is collapsing right now. But anyway, they need to do that. They need to de-encrypt every single bit of data. Yeah, encrypted. Thanks, JD. They need to get every single bit of data. They need to know where it comes. Being on a group is safe. The numbers are safer now. It will change. As soon as Jigsaw is complete and the current development of the quantum computer from Boston Dynamics is complete, this is a couple of years now from now, this will change. But for now, I will be more worried about the robot soldiers, and man, we are in the future. The robot soldiers that are being developed by Boston Dynamics, they will do tests on field, I guess this year, and next year they will do tests on urban territory. So if they use them to quench any manifestation on the United States, that's quite probable. That will happen soon, because there's something that they don't tell you. The military don't want to harm the civilians. And I mean it. Historically, if you see every single instance of a war, the enemy soldiers try to avoid killing the other side. They fake missing the target a lot of times. They don't want you to be that way. So there's training, and sorry to tell you, but the CIA program that they used to alter mind, it was actually being developed to create psychopaths on the military to... Yeah, and sadly you cannot say the name of the Ultra. I can say Ultra, okay? I can say Ultra. But that program was intended for military use. And yeah, Boston... Bukhara Baisu, if you knew, I worked with Google a lot of time. I work indirectly on a satellite company that does the revision of data for Google. I'm trying to not be specific on this because I don't want to get in trouble. And yes, you have to sign an NDA. You have to shut up a lot of things. The stories about people getting PTSD for cleaning what you get in your search results are true. Well, it's needed. To be honest, I have been there. I know it's needed. But what is being used for right now, they are for blocking kids on photos that should not exist, because they are using all that into blocking political discourse. Why? Because the artificial intelligence that works for this level of Google will flag content, but it is still learning, and is a deep learning algorithm. So what you will have is that algorithm flagging content so a human can review it, a cluster of humans actually, because a search result that is banned from Google is not banned by one single person. It's banned by a team, and at the time you had 10 people reviewing every single entry. The AI will get this information how you did the the thinking on this process, and that's why they need different points of view, and they actually want some people to disagree the decision because they need to input that data so the next time the machine gets to the same kind of content, it can block it outright or allow it outright. And my job was to provide that information. My job was to sit down, see every single thing that was being indexed on Google, and say this is terrorism, this is kiddie stuff, or this is safe content. The AI flagged it, I received the content, and I decided to keep the flag or remove it. A cluster of other people did the same. The result was done by majority, and the AI will get that information later. This is still happening. This program is still happening under the guise of a satellite company that is called Lionbridge. That's the company that I had readings with, and I cannot say further than that. I can say what I did on Microsoft, and that was fun. When I was doing blogging for tech, I was in this not that big blog, but it was a big blog for Ecuador that was called Nano Cosas. We used to go to different tech launches. For instance, I was on the launch of Windows 7 and I had procured a pirated preview copy of that operating system to do a test of hacking. I went to the launch of the product to tell them, you know what? I tried to hack it. I couldn't. It's good. And yes, I said that to a higher up on Microsoft from Ecuador, and it felt good. They gave me a lot of free stuff. A lot of free stuff. From that point on, I had a preview copy of almost every single consumer level product, which I don't use anymore. I don't use Microsoft Office. I don't. Flat out, I refuse to use Microsoft Office until the integration with OneDrive is completely gone. Well, anyway, I'm getting full out of track. What is going on with this tracking and tracking with your network means that you need newer ways to access your information. One of them will be used a lot and has been used a lot out of late. You have been doing watch parties on Discord. I use OpenOffice. The only reason I am currently using Windows, but is the Microsoft Windows. There's a couple of tools to clean your Microsoft machine from Microsoft interference. It is because my clients, I do web pages right now, try to send the designs for what we are doing on Illustrator. And I know there's GIMP that can actually open the Illustrator file, but it will have some errors and I cannot give myself permission to commit those errors. Let's say that. Because there's money on this and you don't play with money, and I don't know how Disney is playing with money, man. And this is another thing, but if you want to earn money, you need to comply with your customer. The customer is king. The customer is a god. Why? Because you want them to keep giving you money for the rest of their lives. Easy, right? I want you to give me money. I will treat you right. I will not tell you, you know what, you can do, you need to do this way. And so I won't go to my clients to tell them you need to change the format in which you present the web page for me to develop, because I will have no job. Oh yeah. I normally use Ubuntu and my Raspberry Pi 4. I'll show my Raspberry Pi. It's a fun stuff. It's a really fun stuff. This little guy is my current. Hey, wake up. Is my current Linux machine. Why? Because I need all the time to do some networking, and it's best for me to actually get in here and do stuff my way. And then my Microsoft machine is limited to the data it can access, the information it can provide, because I need safety on my network. I am not alone. I have my mother here, I have my nephew here. Sometimes I have people that I care for here connected to my network. And I believe it's a good practice for me, as someone that knows how to do this, to provide a safety. And I was only updating the Pi-hole. I actually love seeing sudo su. Let's go sudo su. And anyway, why do I want you to know about all this? You will be using it soon enough. The age of unknowingly using services and using equipment is gone. Your equipment is tracking you. Your equipment is saying everything you do to your government. As such, a situation entails you need to start to understand the world around you. That means, of course, getting a Pi-hole. And I mean it. Get a Pi-hole. Get a Raspberry Pi, make it a Pi-hole, and start by that. It's a simple step, a super simple step. Second step, get a VPN that is actually used by a lot, and I mean a lot of people. Hey, it also blocks ads, so if you want ad-free browsing, it's a good way to do that. After that, whatever you do is mainly up to you. If you get to torrenting, that I prefer, then I will ask you to get not by BitTorrent, but this application that is called Terminal. It's actually made for Linux originally. It won't track you. It won't give away information other than the necessary for the torrent to work. It won't abuse you. And you know what? It's free. It doesn't have ads. BitTorrent, uTorrent, muTorrent, whichever you choose will have ads. This not. This is completely free, ad free, is great. Then, if you are using direct download, because maybe you have enough bandwidth to do that and you are on a VPN, so the VPN will allow you to do that. Do exactly that. Well, then you will get Firefox. And you will get an extension that is called Privacy Badger. These guys block the access of different browsers to your data. Then you want to go a step further. You will go to your settings on your Firefox, and in security you will ask for free VPNs. No, there's no many of them that are good. Most of them will block a lot of ports and block a lot of access to information. So I will tell you that for now, a paid VPN is a better solution. At that, I will go for NordVPN or some that is heavily used, because that will make you less vulnerable to tracking. You will be on a cluster with a lot more people, so that's important. Safety is in numbers right now, and the more people is browsing using that VPN is better for you, just to keep you hidden. If there's too much information to try to get you, is less likely they will actually use it. And yeah, you will strictly ban every single access. Then you will go to About, Config, and thank you, but no. It is 1 colon or 2 colons? Forget it. I want you to know how to block. Yeah. You accept the risk, and then you search for web not, and you will see web notifications enabled. You will set it to false. This is important. When a web page asks you to allow them to send you notifications through your browser, you are giving them access to your operative system. What does that mean? They will get access to information that is normally blocked from your browser. Your browser is a sandbox for the rest of your computer. Keeping it healthy is a good way. Then you can get to web pages like, I don't know, ets.mx. This is a torrent site. A bad one at that, but I have enough protection to safely go through it without getting infected. And they have a ton, and I mean a ton, of free stuff. Usually the same day it's released. If not, let's say you want to go somewhere else like 137x. This is another torrenting site in which I actually download WandaVision. I do not go to Disney for WandaVision. They do not deserve my viewing of WandaVision. Getting hold of these kind of places is difficult. It will present you with some challenges, but once you have access to those sites, you will be able to get yourself a nice array of content. Then, what else will you do next? You have a lot of downloaded content. Again, Raspberry Pi. You will set up a NAS. And my Raspberry Pi is a network attached. Let me show you. Network attached storage. And if you see here, this is on the network. This is my Raspberry Pi that is working as a hard drive, in which I have tons of stuff, things that I want to send from my cell phone to my PC, but I don't want to connect my cell phone, and I just love them, and it's like I have them on the cloud. Easy. And you can have there a bunch of movies. So you can set a Plex server or a mini DLN server, and you can watch your movies on your home. Fancy. Yeah, that's it. You will get access to everything you are downloading from everywhere on your house, from your cell phone, from I will actually buy another Raspberry Pi and get a nice TV that is not smart. There's some nice 4K TVs that are not dumb TVs, but not smart TVs either. And with this, you can make them into a nice smart TV with your own rules. There's a lot of tricks that you can do there. But the main thing you have done until this point is protect yourself. What happens after that is up to you, man. If you want to go full ARC and do everything pirated, it's your prerogative. I won't stop you. If you want to do it by the legal means, I will try to stop you in that. I will sell to you this idea. Right now, every single company has enough data, enough money, and enough connections to last forever. If Google wanted to keep any company that goes down under alive, they will give 0.1% of their current earnings to that company, and that company will be saved for life. And that's happening right now. Disney doesn't care, and I will tell you this directly, doesn't care if you like or dislike the product. They are the only providers of that product. The acquisition of that many studios, of that many companies, make them the voice of reason by default, only because there's no other voice around. Which is sad. It's incredibly sad. So if you have the voice of reason that is Disney telling you to stay away and stay down, will you do it? Will you allow a rat to dictate how you live your life? I won't. And if I have to take a lot of extra steps to be able to do that, I will do gladly, freely. Because my freedom is way more important And they cannot tell me that I'm not paying for the product they are giving me right now, because as I have shown you, they are doing research using you, and they are using that research to earn money. Thus, they are using you to earn money. You have the right of compensation. Is that? We are on an uneven situation where companies get everything and they gave us nothing. The mailing service that Google provides you is nothing to them. The movies Disney is providing you are nothing to them. They can lose money on those movies and still keep releasing them. They can pick and choose people that you like on their product, and they can forgo fully the fact that you won't even go to watch it because there's someone giving them money. There's a lot of things I cannot say. Trust me, I want to say a lot. But there's groups on this moment that won't care if they go full bankrupt to make this happen. To make what is going right now happen. And this is something that I got aware of 5, almost 6 years ago, when I decided to stop working with Google. As such, I do believe the right thing to do as now is give them your back. Don't consume the products they give. But if you are doing it, don't pay for them. Just don't pay for them. Let them know, because they will track your use of their products. Let them know, yes, I'm doing it. Why? Because right now what they perceive is that they have molded how people react, how people act, so much that they can do everything and anything they want, and you won't do anything about it. And they are right. They are right. They have been right from the get-go. I have seen this tendency from the time I used to work with Microsoft. I have seen this tendency grow on Google. Facebook is obvious, they are the enemy of the people. They flat out are the enemy of the people. Every single product from Facebook needs to be completely erased from the face of the earth, just because they don't care about the same morals that the government cares. And yes, your government is moral, deeply moral, if you compare it to Facebook. So I will cut Facebook completely out of my life. That's my recommendation. Well, okay, you are safe. You are free, let's say. Not actually free, because they will restrict a lot of content from being accessed, and even Tor networks right now being prevented to fully work. So you will have less content. At that, I want to give you some recommendations to what to search, because I have been enjoying some weird stuff out of late, and I want you to know that there's good stuff to be enjoyed. 1. Search for the Godzilla animated series from the 90s. The movie was terrible. The animation is bloody fun. It's easy to get. The trackers are up if you want to torrent it. I may be hosting some of those trackers. May or may not. Yeah, you can actually use DuckDuckGo for your searches, and it uses Google, but is DuckDuckGo the one that will do the query to Google, giving the DuckDuckGo data, and they will give you back the search without giving you away. That is good. That is extremely good. Anyway, what else? I have been looking for some 90s animation. So if you get, there's this anime is from the 90s, is weird to say the least. It's called Cyber Marionette J. Why I will recommend this anime? This is Brave and DDG. Yeah. This is a world where woman doesn't exist anymore. The woman has been completely eradicated from this new planet that these colonizers, these different countries decided that Earth was lost. They got people into a spaceship and they send them flying around to space to get a new planet. When they were getting to this new planet called Terra 2 actually, the systems stopped working. Everyone started dying, and the only woman that was left on the whole ship was set on a cryogenic pod to be taken care of. So men come down to the planet and they decide, okay, we cannot reproduce this way, we will clone ourselves to infinity to keep the species going, until we get a way to save the woman that is on the ship. Of course, men cannot live without women, so they made these robots that are called marionettes that they use for life to day-to-day life. They enjoy them in every way possible if the model is equipped with the bits and pieces necessary for that. Some can actually produce milk to take care of babies. They can, let's say, keep your temperature high if you were to find yourself nude with them in the snow. They are quite helpful, to be honest. And this guy decides to recreate a woman. The spaceship has an AI, Space Odyssey like, that has decided that that woman won't go away. Is the only woman left, it will be there. So they make these robots with parts of a human female consciousness, so they can use 3 of them to sacrifice to give them to the ship, so the ship will give them the human female. Hundreds of years later, this stupid brat finds one of the robots shenanigans ensue. Let's just say Otaru Mamiya will live with three wonderful sex-ready robots that want to use him in any way possible while he tries to survive that and tries to survive a neighboring country that is trying to get them so they can get the woman and save mankind for them. And the evil enemy is called Faust and is a German. Just, it's way over the top, man. It's way over the top. Is sexual, is funny. It has great fights. One of the characters is Yamagata. Yamagata is gay. He is a man that is gay, 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 with a gigantic G of gay. So this guy will try to get in bed with Otaru Mamiya, or hero, a lot of times, using the stupidest of excuses possible. And actually the reactions are golden, man. This is the 90s, where you could actually make a good gay character at the same time as making it the comedy relief. You cannot do that now. You cannot. Flat out, you cannot. In the same vein, also the series go Cyber Marionette J, Cyber Marionette J to X, no, Cyber Marionette J Extreme, Cyber Marionette J to X. Is 3 seasons, 3 incredible seasons. The ending of the final season got me in tears, and I mean it. It will break your heart. It will toy with it. Is amazing anime. In the same vein, there's another anime of men and women being separated by space. It's called Bandred. In this anime, men and women didn't care for each other on this space voyage because both of them were assholes. There was a level of genetical saturation, and they decided, you know what? Women are going one way, men are going another way. Thousands of years later, humanity is now 2 planets. One full of men that women think are savages that will kill them, and one filled with women that men think they are savages that will kill them. And they are trying to conquer space once again. So they go out, find themselves with other shenanigans ensue. There's this guy that will pilot a Gundam-like a robot that will couple with a female version of that robot. And when I say couple, I mean it will be quite sexual. So yeah, it is a deal. Trust me. This guy will couple with this woman, but he's the only one that can go in this robot. So he will get to couple with a lot of different women. And shenanigans ensue. And I'm speaking about this anime particularly because there's something I want to I want you to take from that anime. They have this episode that there's this capsule that was left by humanity long ago. And they do not know how to open it. It's floating on the space and they don't know what to do. They start to get attacked by an enemy on space. And during the fight, one of the women that was pregnant gives birth. And the sound of the cries of the baby is the key to open the container. And is a girl that has in the container that has genetically relevant material to correct what is going on with the species, so they can copulate and have babies and be happy. You are happy when you copulate. You are always happy when you copulate. But anyway, that happens and the series takes another turn. This is an ecchi series. It's supposed to be all about sex and all about spicy jokes. But then it becomes about them recovering humanity as a whole. Because you know what? If you break up humanity, you will have to bring it back. And this is something that I believe is going to happen soon. Not separation of female and male, but they will try to get us in different corners of the earth. And because of that, we need to focus on what's important on us as a species. Keep being the same species. Keep bringing new members to this species. Keep existing. And no matter what happens, keep going on. We all together. At one point, they might separate us, but there will be a time for us to reunite. Make no mistake about it. They cannot keep us apart forever. And so I want to bring this series and a lot of this series because maybe it is time for us to create a new sense of pride on being human and acknowledge that what is going on, we have thought long about it and we have get to some interesting conclusions that are not we need to be separated and isolated. As I said, part of my work on Google was about content, and they do separate people between ethnic groups, and they present content to people differentiating the ethnic groups. And this will get worse. The separation will come way, way worse. And at that point, we need to acknowledge that things like the cry of a baby is a global unifier. It's a global unifier. It's something that deep within us, in the from our hearts to our bones to every drop of blood on our veins, if we hear the cry of a baby in distress, we will launch. We will run. We will fight against anything to see that that cry gets properly taken care of. That's humanity. And if there's still babies being born, if there's still life beginning, humanity has a hope. And content is part of that. Content for them is a product. For us is our legacy. 100 years on the future. Whatever we do, it will be our legacy. 1000 years on the future is the same. We are currently studying the Egyptians 5000 years ago. And the only thing we can get from them is that they loved cats and they loved architecture. This is 5000 years of distance between people. And people are still trying to figure out how that people on the past worked out, let alone figuring out how we do work out. Yeah, yeah, man, you got the right idea. Is intrinsic. Is the deepest of the instincts you can have to protect a baby. Humanity won't disappear. It won't. We have faced a lot of shit before and we will face a lot of shit from now on. That's how life works. That's how the planet works. So if you really want to keep it going, keep it working, we as a species, we need to keep going. For that, we need to remember who we are. Who we were on the past, and that's the necessity people have to dig on the past. We have a necessity to dig around in tombs because we want to know what they knew. We want to feel what they felt. We want to be there. That's the connection of humanity to the past. That's human nature. If you set a human in ruins, that human will inspect those ruins. That's the source of anthropology. That's the basis of anthropology. We want to know the connection with our past. And that will not change on the future. Humans on the future will want to know who we were as much as we want to know who the Egyptians were. These companies doesn't seem to understand that. They think about everything they do as a product that will be short-lived, and they make it to be so. Current movies are not timeless because they do not expect them to be remembered on 10 years. They want us to forget about that movie so they can sell us a new one. That's it. That's the source of everything that is going on right now. And if you have seen the Last Jedi, you have heard them kill the past, let the past die, kill it if you have to. Because they truly believe the only way to keep selling us stuff is by killing the stuff that was before. And this is something that Google shares. This is what they believe. If you want to have the newest thing, you are right. You are a good person. You are a good American. You need to have the next iPhone. You need to see the next Star Wars. You need to see the next Marvel series. Why? Why? This is new in humanity. 500 years ago, a normal human will hear his favorite song twice in a whole lifespan. Twice. Most people only heard a song once. Fear of missing out. Yeah, FOMO. That's exactly right. We have. And let me do a small impersonation of Kirk. We have an uncommensurable amount of history. You and me. We could explore it as far as we will want if only we took the time to do so. And yes, we need the time to do so. Star Trek, the original series. I have been saying that the discourse that Kirk gives to the lieutenant on who mourns for Adonais is maybe the most important speech on human history. And people still don't believe me. Give me your hand, your hand. Now feel this. Human flesh against human flesh. It's a discourse about the responsibility that we have over humanity as a whole. And how much we are connected to it. Connected to humanity. That's why I love anthropology, after all. Anthropology is the study of mankind. Technology, politics, art is all part of anthropology. Because it's the study of mankind. And mankind keeps going on, so we need to keep studying it. And speech, that speech says everything that we need to remember. Man, woman. Let me. No, it is not all the same, the word that he uses. I will remember it later. But the point stands. We are tied beyond any time. You, me, everyone. If we let what is our past to be sold to us in new iterations every single time, we will lose the previous iterations. I will make as example one anime. This anime is called Bubblegum Crisis. It's a 60s anime. Old ass anime. The 90s version, Bubblegum Crisis, is the one that everyone remembers. It is good, yes, but there was a Bubblegum Crisis before. There was an anime called the same with the same exact history before, but no, nobody remembers it. Everybody remembers Bubblegum Crisis from the 90s, and it's a shame. That is a shame. And that happens a lot. That happens with Macross, that happens with Evangelion. Some people don't look at the original Evangelion series the same way because they believe the current series is superior. Superior at what? At what? I want someone to tell me that is actually superior. In what? Because okay, animation, you may do the argument, but then you will have some scenes on the original animation that looks amazing and haven't been done again on the new iteration of Evangelion. You might say the original Hellsing anime was bad because it was not a fully realized version of Hellsing, and you may be right. But it had incredible music, it had incredible voice acting, it has a top notch story, yeah, and that's anime. Yeah, the newest version holds the true meaning of Evangelion. The new version holds the true meaning of Helsing, of Full Metal Alchemist, of all this series. You are right. That doesn't mean the previous version holds nothing. Maybe it holds something that the new version doesn't hold. Maybe it has souls. It had soul. Maybe Soulsborne, Demon Souls on PS5 is easier than the original Demon Souls. People wanted to experience Demon Souls again in better graphics. They won't. They won't. There's no way you can experience Demon Souls unless you play it on the PS3. Because the newer version is not Demon Souls as it was. That happens with a lot of products. That happens all the time. At one point, we need to go back and watch what was done before to understand us as a whole. Why did people did punk the way they did punk? Why they did Arkanoid the way they did Arkanoid? And Arkanoid had a story. Arkanoid, you were trying to get your ship repaired. Tetris, the newer versions have some interesting things, but I prefer to play the original Tetris on the Game Boy. And the only version that I feel is close enough is the Tetris 3D for 3DS. That it holds a lot of the same feeling on the basic Tetris playthrough. Emulation. Emulation is there because people want to keep playing the same old games, and sometimes the hardware is no longer accessible. If there was not emulation of arcade games, a lot of arcade games would have been fully lost to history. Why? Because the company that made them got under. They lost the original software, and the only way to get that software is by dumping it from an original arcade. The next thing you will do is emulate that, because if you keep playing the arcade, it will damage the arcade to a point where you will not be able to play it anymore. For cultural preservation, you have the obligation, moral obligation, and this is something that people from the Video Game Museum on the United States have told me. You have the obligation to rescue video games to be kept for the next generation to be played. Why? Because if you see, that's the basis of everything that has gone on society the last 50 years. Medical technology. It has developed because of video games. How you do operations with joysticks and servos? It's using video game technology. Next, if you want to say about movies, the real race to get incredible graphics was not about movies, it was about games. Movie studios were okay with keep using stop motion animation because it was cheaper than doing it on digital. Of course I can. Bukaru Baisu's daughter, good night, sweet dreams. And please remember, your humanity won't be taken away. We will keep going, and you will be properly taken care of. Trust me. With people like your dad here, there's still a fighting chance. We will be alright. And I mean it, I mean it. People like I have known on the Fandom Menace, man. They hold the hope for humanity. These people treasure humanity as a whole. Treasure art. They treasure technology. They treasure storytelling. Hey, thanks. But I'll be sleeping in a while. There's still song here. But yeah, these people, man. I mean, cultural casino. Culture casino, sorry. I'm doing the quarter in naming somehow. Anyway, he holds a lot of the same values as I do in another way. Jake D, he holds some of those same values in another way. Everyone is looking forward to a future where the past is respected. The why? Well, we see the why now. We see that we need a future and we need a past. When you are playing chess, when you are playing the game chess, you don't play on the future. You don't play on the present. You cannot play on the present because if you play on the present, you will fail. You will lose. You play on the future and you play in the past. I'm sorry about my dog. You need to know what moves were done before to be able to do your next move. And you need to think about what move your opponent will do. And such, you will make a conscious decision on 3, 4, 5 steps ahead what you will be playing. And you may fail. You may do something wrong. You may think something wrong. Your opponent may take advantage of that. That's past. That's no longer present. That's the past. You did your move, is in the past. Your opponent is doing a move that will cripple your strategy. That is the present. Once it's done, is the past. You will think about a strategy to respond to that. That is the future. You are never playing on the present. Chess is not a game about the present. It's the game about the future and the past, both at the same time. Same goes for Magic the Gathering. On Magic the Gathering, you need to plan ahead even though your cards are random. When you build your deck, you try to get the chances of you getting the right hand. You get strategies and synergy between different cards in different situations, so you can win even if you get a bad hand. You are playing in the future. You have removed the past. The past is mixed with chance. Yet, you need to know what your opponent was playing to know how many cards has he used, how many of one single kind of card has he used, if he can recast it from the graveyard, all that you need to know. So you are playing in the past and you are playing in the future. The present is only the moment when you can enact what you have thought about both the present and the future. And that's necessary for a lot of people. I will say that's necessary for most people to do everyday jobs. That's a skill that you need to develop. Once you have that skill developed, I cannot tell you what to do with it, but you will do wonderful things, trust me. Every time I think about, and I'm doing a web page right now for an esport team, this esport team needed some extra functionality on the web page. So before they told me that, I already knew. I took a chance. I made an example of how a league page will work. Not a eSport team page, a league page. It was what they needed. I needed to know beforehand what was going to happen on a present that at that time it was future to know. I used previous knowledge to think about it and get to a conclusion. I dwelt in the past. That made my present work. That is a skill. That is a skill that every single person can get easily. Play chess, play Magic the Gathering, play games that make you strategize or think on your feet. Play Tetris. If you have a PS4, there's this wonderful version of Tetris, Tetris Effect. Wait until it is on a sale, get it, and play it 1, 2, 3 hours a day, depending on how much time do you have. Why would you do that? Well, it's easy. You need to train your brain to be able to take on whatever comes. As such, you will train your brain to prepare for a devastating failure. Tetris works for that. And Tetris works to... Oh man, that's a great idea. Teaching a 7-year-old to play chess is a wonderful, wonderful idea. Keep doing that, and if you can, I mean it about Tetris, and this is why. You will get to a point where the pieces are falling too fast. Your brain won't be able to properly place them according as you have foreseen. So you will have to think on your feet, recuperate your footing, your stance, and get back to the game. Or you will lose. And you won't have time to properly prepare for that. That will happen on a second, and the response should be on a second. That will train your brain to take quick actions in a distress situation. Same goes for a lot of other games, but that's one. And Puyo Puyo Tetris, that's another one that I will go to. In video games, you have Zelda, the original Zeldas. Zelda: A Link to the Past is a wonderful game to give to a 7 years old, or to a 7 to 10 years old. I will say it's an incredible game. It's something that I play a lot all the time. So, and I'm 32. But games where you need to think about what you are doing, games that have consequences like chess or Magic the Gathering, those are games that will help your daughter on everyone as a whole to develop skills on your brain that will be needed to current life. And current life is something that give us no mercy. We had in a couple of weeks all that happened with Disney, and that repercuted to our economy, that repercuted to how we face people, changed our social circles in a way or another. It happens all the time. I have been cancelled. I have been fired from a job when I had nothing. I have been faced by my government in situations where I cannot do anything but think think on my feet. And when that happens, I I am grateful because maybe my grandparents knew that I needed a little bit of harsh reality. They used to put me on situations where I needed to work properly as a human being. And I thought that was because they wanted to see me suffer when I was a kid. No. They wanted to see me suffering then so I will not suffer worst on the future. Old people were like birds. They used to throw away the the chicks to see if they could fly. If they don't, they splatter to the ground. And it worked. And trust me, it worked. That way of thinking about how you will enact education works. You cannot hold the hand of someone throughout the whole life. Uh, your daughter Bukaru Baisu, for instance, she at one point will be alone in a situation where she needs to win by herself. And she can. Trust me, she can. She can all the way. You haven't seen the real potential of a child until you see them on real distress. When I was 4 years old. I got stuck in a room on my grandparents' uh, beach house. There was multiple options. One of them was kicking out the door, but my grandparent uh, gave me for through the window this fork and this knife, and he told me there's a button that you will press on the lower part of the doorknob that will release the system. I did that with the fork. Okay, you will use a knife to do this and that. The doorknob was fully disassembled in a couple of minutes. Then I took the time to reassemble once I was out of the room. This is a 4-year old that my grandfather thought he needs this skill. So he gave me that skill. Now, if I'm in a similar situation, if I need to get out from somewhere that I got stuck or I was held against my will, I can do that. And breaking doorknobs and breaking safeties took me to the next level. I learned how to do that on PCs, on computers, and I learned how to hack, and I learned how to provide for myself by doing so, because being a script newbie, a script kiddie, you will get some tools to hack things and you will fail. Then you will learn how to code, and then you will learn how to network properly, and one day you will be doing it right. Tinkering is a skill. Tinkering is the first step towards learning. We'll learn through failure in everyday life. If you go to a relationship, you will fail. You will learn. You will apply what you learn with your next couple. You will fail. You will apply what you learn from the previous relationships in your next and in your next, and somehow you will find someone that is compatible, and you will know that you are a jerk. Because no matter what, in every single relationship, both parties are jerks. You might believe that your wife is evil because she is mad about you forgetting the anniversary. She's hurt. You forgot the anniversary because reasons, maybe the reasons are good. Still, she's human. You can do something about it. You can fix your relationship. You can fix a doorknob. You can fix everything if you take the time to do so. It will take steps. Maybe you have the skills from the get-go. Maybe you don't. You will learn. You will get better. You will do better. That's what we need. We need to be better every day by being worse the previous day. That's self-improvement. What SJWs want now is to be perfect from the get-go. You cannot do that. You will never do that. Even if you are an overachiever, you can fail. Again, I will be using me as an example. I was a grade student. I was the best on on my school for a couple of years. Then I start to get bullied. I decide I don't want this. I didn't give a fuck about school, so I stopped doing the schoolwork. Yeah, I stopped doing that. My grades went to shit. I was the worst student on the class. I didn't give a crap. I wanted to be that. I didn't pay attention consciously, so I will get expelled from the. And I was expelled. I was expelled 7 times. So it works. When you want to be an asshole, it works. Because you know what? I didn't care anymore. But then I went to a different school that had a different kind of methodology. You were supposed to go whenever you want, take test, and if you take the test and you pass, you get to study the next thing. So I studied anatomy for the last 3 years of my education in 2 weeks. I failed before because I wanted to fail. But at one point, I decided failing is no longer fun. And I decided to take the skills I had to achieve something that people on that school thought was impossible. And I did it. Why? Because it was there and my skill was there. Sometimes you will fail by your own making. You can get back. You can get back from anything, even death. Even death. I have been revived before. My heart has stopped beating before. When I was a small child, not even a year old. Sometimes you die and you come back. Because that's how life works. Weird, yeah. Whatever. Not everything can be fixed immediately. And that must be fixed immediately. If not, there's no other. Sorry about that, but you have like 3 minutes to restart the heart before it's too complicated to do something. But what point I'm trying to get across? You can, and Disney, they can come back from what they did. They don't want to. I said in a video a long time ago, they don't want to fix Star Wars. They don't want to have you as a customer. They have made their choice, and their choice is not you. That doesn't matter. If they fail, we can do something better. In YouTube, you had Cyanide and Happiness. These shorts that started as comic strips, then it was animation, then they were on a digital platform paid, and they made money. Then they monetized it more and more and more. Then YouTube said, you know what, you cannot no longer monetize anything. The same guys are behind a lot of other things that you have heard of, like Cards Against Humanity, and they have now a Cyanide and Happiness card game, and it's fun. They keep coming back. Why? No, because they can. They want to. and their product is top notch. If any network decide let's say they go with Gina Carano and join the new big media conglomerate, okay, do it. I know they will do it right. If they fail, I know they will try again. Sometimes you don't fail because of you. Sometimes YouTube decides you can no longer monetize your content. That's a failure. They will try something again, and again, and again, and again. Success comes after you have failed enough to know that you will fail again. That's it. That's the secret of success. If you know you are failing, you will try your best. If you think that you are not doing enough to make something come true, you are right. You are right. Until the moment you say, I have been doing everything I can, you are right. At one point, it will be too much. That's okay. That's okay too. Some projects you need to fully abandon. Some things you need to fully abandon. I'm now abandoning Star Wars. I only have one X-Wing left on my roof, and the original trilogy and prequel trilogy toys. Everything that came after that, or everything that reminds me what came after that, is gone. That doesn't mean I cannot get something new. The Spans is gone to shit. Okay, it was not the hero we thought it will be. But then you have a lot of good animes, you have a lot of good productions from the UK or from Germany or from Poland or no, Ecuadorian ones there are none. But you can get new entertainment and that will make you happy. Trust me. So maybe try Bandred. That's a good anime. Maybe try Scryte. This anime Scryte is bloody amazing. It's incredible. Until the last second of that anime, there's shit happening and is incredible. Scryte. You can get The Last Exile, you can get Gurren Lagann, you can get Attack on Titan. If you can go way back, you can go for something better. You can go to... You like shonen? Go for Digimon, the first season. It's great. You want to see something really trippy? Well, you have the Monogatari series or... the name was not Satan Man, but that was the character for the animation. I'll remember later. But you can go to Kill la Kill. You can go to Madoka Magica. You can go to Lucky Star if you want to relax and see something geeky as hell. Sit down and watch Lucky Star. It's cute girls being freaky, and I know. I don't mean being freaky as being freaky. I mean as being freaky. They are nerds. And you have Konata speaking about Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon and Code Geass. Code Geass is another good series. You can go and see Doctor Who, the old Doctor Who. Is incredible. And it's incredible, and don't waste your time skipping through some arcs. I know the Cave of Skulls is not considered canon. It is canon for me. It has my favorite episode on the whole Doctor Who series. is from the second arc of Doctor Who, the original series called The Cave of Skulls. You will have the whole Davros story with the third and fourth Doctor. The whole arc is amazing. Then I guess you can go for the Cyberman and the fifth Doctor. That's a good choice too. But watch the whole series and it's incredible. It's bloody amazing. You can get old school sci-fi. Why don't you give a try to the old Godzilla movies? They are easy to get. Have you seen Nosferatu? It's a great movie. Cinema Paradiso or Delicatessen. One is from Italy, the other is from France. Great movies. Maybe you are into something more readable, like books. Magic the Gathering has amazing books. The cycle of artifacts that goes from Ursa getting the Power Stone to Ursa fucking up and killing almost everyone. It's a great trilogy of books. Get it? It's not even a trilogy, there's a fourth book on that. And if you have a Kindle, oh, a Kindle is a wonderful thing. I have a lot of books, but where I have read the most is on a Kindle that I had, and it was over the 2000 books. The battery no longer works, and it's sad, but you know, I will get in one again sometime. There's a lot of old stuff to take a look, and I truly believe you will find enjoyment all the way. Every single time you will find something incredible to look at. Even in books, man. There's 300, 400 years of books available. And even though you can get transcriptions from Gilgamesh, the epics of Gilgamesh, you can get them. You can get transcriptions from Inca tales. You can get transcriptions for North folk tales, and they are not the same as North religious tales. They are quite different, and they have a lot of fun things mixed between. And in video games, let's play something. Why don't we? Let's play Monkey Island. I have tried to play this game before on stream and I have sucked. I just want to show you how Monkey Island looks. Okay, this is the course of Monkey Island. I want the original Monkey Island. Monkey Island Special Edition. And I hate Steam. I bloody hate Steam. It's a terrible, terrible service. But... yo, seriously? You had DirectX from the get-go, man. Anyway, old games, and Steam doesn't mix. That's what I hate about Steam. I need a platform where I can get old games working all the time. And good old games is not it. It's not it. Yes, this is Lucasfilm. And this game is a remake of an older game. Let me set this straight. This game is almost as old as I am. And it's bloody wonderful. And yes, I showed the YouTube console on YouTube. Let's go to play new game. The old stuff is still on the game, and you will have the best of both worlds. You will have the old Monkey Island that I love, and you will have. Hey, Bukaru Baisu, see you soon, man. Be safe and take care. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah. There's a button to get to the original graphics. And what's fun about this? This is Lucasfilm and LucasArts before it ended being awesome. Just being awesome. Sometimes you need an old game. Sometimes you need something old. It is there for you. It is always there for you. Be patient. Be smart. Things are going to go. If not our way, any other way, and we can go with it. Things are happening. Old stuff is available. You will be able to get it. Life will be better. Soon enough, life will be better. And if not, well, we tried. Huh? Yeah. Dull game! This exists, and it costs right now on Good Old Games 35 cents. This game cost 35 cents. So why don't you spend part of canceling Disney Plus on this game? Just saying. I don't know what has active on my keyboard. I don't want to know either. And well, I'm just right now I'm just on full nostalgic mode. Yeah, we will be alright. There will be more to see one day, maybe. If not, we will get by. Stop stressing yourself about what's going on the future. The present is not working either. The past, it also doesn't work for you to think about the past all the time. But you can get what is worth on every single instance of time. You can do something to get a better future. That always works. You can do something to do better on your current being, and that's working on your present. And if you want to work on your past, that I do, there's ways. There's ways. The future, the present, the past is all the same if you know what you are doing. And yes, you can speak to a dog in this game. I love it. Talk to dog. I love this game. After that, man, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't believe there's anything going to happen with Disney. They are set. They are full set. CBS, we won't have back CBS. Star Trek is also dead. Doctor Who is dead. The big franchises, Jurassic Park. Sorry to tell you, but is dead. All that is dead, Jim. So let's just enjoy what's left from the past, and one day we'll have a better future. People that enjoy the past right now are the architects of the future tomorrow. They are learning and getting to know what is going on the bottom of their hearts. They are releasing, and I have seen this on Indiegogo, on the whole Comicsgate. They are realizing that they can do this. They can make something better. They can create something bigger and better every single time. And if Disney is said to crush us every single time, we will do better. Who says we won't? Who says there's no chance? They don't know it. We don't know it either. And it will happen. It will happen soon enough. Gina Carano going to somewhere else is important. Hail, Jexy! Jason C. Brain fart. Jason C. And yeah, that's it. I guess that's the main point I want to come across. We can get, pirate or not, we can get the content we used to love and the content we will love again. What is coming on the future? Gina Carano is the chess piece that is currently being moved by our side. The other side controls the whole chess match. This time, Gina Carano is into the future, is trying something new, is getting somewhere. That may work. That may work. I'm not saying it won't. And if it works, I will give my money to them. Right away. I want them to have my money. If it doesn't work, I will seek someone like Ethan Van Sciver, that he is making great comics, to buy them from him. And I will seek, if there's an independent movement for TV, I will be there. I will be there giving them my money because they are worth that. And if I can get every single DVD on Blu-ray and I can get everything old on my hard drive, I will, because I love it. We are not finished. We are finished with Disney. We won't be able to give them money even if we want to, because they will show us they don't want that money. So we cancel Disney Plus. Okay, what's next? We have the money from Disney Plus. Buy a nice comic. And I'm serious. Buy a nice comic. Give your money to Gina Carano when she starts to show what she is going to produce, and I'm hopeful it will be good. Maybe it won't. Maybe Gina Carano sucks as a director, as a producer. Maybe. We don't know yet. That's the important part. We don't know yet. With Disney, we know they suck. Plain and simple. With Disney, we know they suck. With Disney, we know where they are going, what they are doing, how things are happening. But there will be new things, and before that, we will be able to go back to the past. The present is not definitive. As I said, Get Transmission is a good torrent client. It doesn't have the the spyware that BitTorrent have. Get a Raspberry Pi, make a Pi hole. Get a nice VPN that you can get into a cluster of people so you are hidden by numbers. And Godzilla, the animation series, I really mean it. It's good. It's damn good. I'm enjoying it too much, man. And I recently acquired Futurama again. I want to start making Futurama reviews every single episode because I love that series and that series loved me. When I was a kid, there was no many series that actually spoke about Star Trek. There was a lot of Star Wars references, but not that many Star Trek references. Well, now we have Futurama that is old, is from the 2000s, and yeah, I do believe it is relevant right now, and I will be showing that off on some videos on the future. And even new stuff. There's some new stuff that has been worth your watch that is currently over or finishing right now. Attack on Titan. I will say it again, Attack on Titan. Go watch Attack on Titan. And it has a lot of good references of what's happening right now on that show. You want something extremely long that you can enjoy like a novella? One Piece. Go for One Piece. 1,000 episodes is enough for you to enjoy. Trust me. Doctor Who. Again, go back to Doctor Who. To the old Doctor Who. I can give you, if you need it, I can give you a way to access every single episode of Doctor Who until today. Except for the Jodie Whittaker episodes. Well, not every single that has been released until today, because there are some missing episodes on classic Doctor Who, but every single one that has been found, I have it. If for any circumstance I get cut out of the internet, I will still have entertainment for me. And that's something I want you to do. The internet is not forever. Don't get fooled into that. What you do in the internet is forever in the sense that it will be with you your whole life unless something drastic happens. That it may as well be. If the sun decides to throw a storm, well, electronics are fried in a second. So yeah, electronics and every single bit of information can go away in a second. Tomorrow maybe the whole internet infrastructure can go down. Then maybe having books is a good thing, because you will have something to read. If not, if the internet is the only thing that fails, well, maybe having series and movies on your hard drive is something good to have. And having a lot of material in your shelves as DVDs and Blu-rays, it is a good idea. We need to be prepared for what's coming, and I don't want to say that the end is coming. The end is not nigh. Humanity will be here a long time after this. Trust me. Humanity has been in worse situations a lot of times. Out of recent, we were in the brink of death. Every single human on the planet was on brink of death. Asteroid kissed the Earth aerospace. It didn't enter, it kissed. Next time, we may be flattened to nothing. You know what? I'm okay with that. If and only if some some of us, not everyone, some of us survives. Maybe even not me. Uh, I can be dead, but humanity will be there. And after that, well, whatever comes after that, I guess. Right now we are in a new situation. This is the first time I actually speak about piracy as the only way to consume media for the foreseeable future. But it is the only way to consume media in the foreseeable future because we are being kept away from other means. Be it Disney Plus censoring stuff, changing stuff, making sure they fuck up every little bit of goodwill. I'm sorry about the camera. Um, you know what? Sorry, Disney. Sorry, Netflix. I won't be giving you my money. But human culture as a whole is my right as a human being. You cannot tell me that I cannot read a book because you don't like it. You cannot tell me I cannot see a series because you don't like it. You cannot tell me what to watch. You cannot tell me what to don't watch. I'm a human. That's being a human. I have the faculty to decide what I want to see and what I want to do, and I'll be doing just that. If Disney has the intention to correcting, they will have to correct everything, and I mean everything. Until then, piracy is the way. Why? Because first, I want to know exactly what they are doing. I want to know what message they are telling people, what kind of stuff they are trying to sell people. I want to know that. Personal security. This is a company that can change how a government on Latin America works in a whim. And it has happened before. Disney has changed laws on Ecuador, on Peru, it has changed laws. So that might as well happen. And they have done that on the United States, how you have no idea. How the copyright uh, clauses work right now is all Disney. It was supposed to be way different. Yet they cannot prevent me from seeing what I want if I know how to access it. No matter what they do, they cannot stop me from looking at the original Star Wars. They may say that I'm doing something illegal, I don't care. They have changed so much of the original Star Wars that I don't care. There's only one way to see it as it was intended to be: piracy. Same for some games, same for some books. It's exactly the same. As much as they want us to forget what existed before, if we can compile a library of everything that came after humanity conceived this concept of entertainment, because it is older. You have tabletop games like Backgammon. Backgammon is a stupid old game. You have chess, you have checkers, you have Monopoly, you have the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, the Sega Genesis, the Sega Saturn, you have the Sega Dreamcast, you have PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4. You have an infinite array of entertainment. We as a species have created that entertainment. Anthropologically speaking, Disney has no right over us getting access to that because it's the legacy of mankind. As simple as that. They want to say something different? Bullshit. Bullshit. Mankind has been here way before Disney and will be here way after Disney. We will be here 2000 years in the future and Disney won't. I can tell you as much. Maybe 100 years in the future, Disney won't be here. Are we hoping that Disney, on the way down, on the way to the grave, releases everything to the public? No, that won't happen. That will go to a trust fund, and that trust fund will be sold to anyone else. And the copyright laws will be strengthened so it can last 2000 years in the future. Maybe the government won't. Maybe, just maybe, your hard drive will be there 2000 years in the future, or 200 years, or 20. Or tomorrow, when you want to go to see one of your favorite series that is not online, but it is on your hard drive. And that's amazing. They cannot stop us from accessing content. They cannot stop us from accessing the history of our species. They won't. There's no way they will be able to do that. No way in hell. You know why? Because who are doing these laws are humans. Who are doing these processes to get entertainment are humans. Just like us. I have always said, and I have been around the Freemasons for a long time, they are humans just like us. They just have enough power to fuck around everyone. But if you have seen them drunk, high as fuck, if you have seen them partying, you will know they are fucking assholes like everybody else. In entertainment, in politics, in all this, we don't have a god. We don't have a god. There's not a god of politics, and trust me, Disney is not the god of entertainment. They don't have the ultimate word about how and why we do things. We have. Taking back that power is an imperative part of human evolution right now. And we will. I trust anyone that sees this weird stream will get some sense of how to better the access to piracy, how to better the access to a lot of things. Because we need it. This is no longer about we abiding the law of some country. This is we taking care of human history before they do. And we need to. And we will. Remember, we are now in Progressive Park. We have the sex raptors and the Karen Rex roaming around, controlling the park. And now we are only these small humans cowarding in the installations trying to survive. Maybe it is time for us to hunt dinosaurs. How about that? And that's maybe the the thing I want you to keep from this. Maybe it is time for us to hunt dinosaurs. Maybe it is time for us to hunt the past, to hunt every part of human history back to our hands. This won't last forever. Don't be silly if you believe this is the end of times. This won't last forever. Humanity has done way more stupid shit, and I mean it. We had thermonuclear weapons pointed towards every single country on the world. And we are still here. We are still here. That's humanity for you. We will make a weapon to destroy every single human on the planet. And we will see it on it through 100 years of plain just being assholes. But if it doesn't, if this were to come to the worst case scenario, remember, you will have on your hard drive, and yes, I'm telling you to get piracy. Because piracy right now is cultural preservation, right the same way that ripping games and getting emulation is cultural preservation. You need to save humanity for the rest of humanity that will come later. We lost. Disney won. Disney won. There's no longer a fight for Star Wars. There's no longer a fight for Marvel. They won. There's no retaking back Star Wars. There's no retaking back anything. It's theirs. Let them have it. The original Star Wars, the original movies, the silver screen versions, those we can share between every single person. Why not? The original Star Trek. We can share it. The new things, that's not our legacy. That's made to be dust in a couple of weeks. They are not thinking about WandaVision being this iconic series in 100 years. Yeah. It's something that you will see so they can get enough money from you for a month. Okay, we had something better, way better before. We will save it. When you are gone, we will have it again and again and again and again. And you'll be gone. Disney, you'll be gone. You are now dying of starvation slowly, and you know, I will take glee on seeing you go. Cause you Disney have destroyed a lot of things I love. So I will take glee on seeing you gone. I will take a lot, and I mean a lot of enjoyment on seeing you die. As a company, you are worthless to me. You had people that were a lot of things to me. They were important. Some people were friends. Some people were just celebrities. And they are gone from Disney now. And if they are not, they'll be soon. Because the good actors, the good actresses, the good people on Hollywood, they are seeking a new place to work. Do you really think they don't have their resume ready to give to hand out to any producer around the world? They are tired of Hollywood. As much as us. Because they want to work. They don't want to be pandered. They don't want to be enslaved. They want to work. They want to do what they love. And Gina Carano has shown us that. And there's a way out of this system. Let's take it. Let's do it. We are breaking the system, finally. Let's make it big. If piracy becomes the main source of entertainment around the world, they will be obligated to think twice about what they are doing. And they track piracy better than the pirate sites do. It is time. It is time for us to revolt against the overlords in the best way possible. By acting like we don't even fight anymore. We have enough on our CPUs, no CPUs, on our hard drives to live a long life of entertainment. If they want to tell us we can no longer see something because our computers on Windows will be shit, okay. Get a Raspberry Pi and watch it on Linux. They cannot control us. They cannot take over us. Microsoft has tried to do that so long on technology and they haven't. They wanted to be the main operative system for servers and it is Linux. Plain and simple. We need a Linux for content. We need a Linux for entertainment. Linux is an open source operative system. Okay. Let's have an open source entertainment. Why not? Just an idea. Open source series. Open source characters. You know, we finished the series and it's epic. Let them take it. Let them keep it. They want to make it good. If we were to do this again, well, we are tired, we don't care, it will be shit. It is time. It is time for us to reformulate how we see everything. And piracy is the first thing we need to take care about. Because it's the only way. It's the only way for the future. Right now, all we love, all the content we love, is caged in this almost adamantium jail. We have something better than adamantium. We have cheap electronics that can be used to fuck over everything if we want to. And we will. Well, I guess that's everything for today. I really thank everyone that came. And if you can, share this message. We are losing against Disney. We are not losing against reality. Reality is winning against Disney. It will come soon. And if it doesn't, we will be prepared. Take the right measures. Be ready. Life is going to get harder, and then it's going to get weirder. And we will see everything to completion. Don't despair. Do not despair. You can get whatever you want if you know how to. And if you don't know, I'll be here to teach you. This is everything for today. Thank you very much for being here and see you next time.